This picture of Tyler Hadley taken at a party hours after he allegedly beat his mom and dad to death with a hammer.
A 17-year-old who killed his parents with a hammer and then hosted a raging house party.
I saw bloody sheets piled everywhere. I saw broken pictures with blood on them.
He's like, look. So I looked and there's a fake there. I'm like, I'm out of here.
The crime stunned parents across the country. And it all started when a dangerous idea occupied the adolescent mind of Tyler Hadley.
Your mom took 36, 37 blows.
Yeah, I guess so. I remember my dad running out.
You hit him. He asked, why are you doing this?
And I said, why not? And then I said, why not? There was blood all over the place. And I laughed at myself in the mirror. And I went about my business of just having a party.
All across America, parents try to make sense of their kids. We take pride in them, we worry about them, and in their teenage years, things happen that make us ask ourselves, what could they possibly be thinking? Today, I'm in Florida to answer an extreme version of that age-old question.
We're getting an anonymous tip from a crime line in Orlando. The anonymous tip advised that he killed both of his parents last night at 5 p.m. He used the back of a hammer and that they can be found in bed at this location.
On July 16, 2011, in Port St. Lucie, Florida, a teenager placed a late-night tip to a local crime hotline. His friend, Tyler Hadley, had just thrown an epic party, and during the unruly bash, Hadley's parents, Blake and Mary Jo, lay dead in the bedroom. Hadley had murdered them just hours before. The media called it Tyler Hadley's killer party.
Tyler Hadley used a hammer to kill his parents, then throw a party.
He does face life in prison if convicted for murdering his parents.
Hadley was just 17 years old when he killed his parents and invited more than 60 classmates to drink, smoke, and party just a few feet from the bodies.
It's probably the biggest party I've been to this year.
Dude, I know you're not gonna believe me. No one will believe me. I freaking killed somebody. I went by his parents' room, I saw splatter.
A community was rocked. A family was torn apart. And a national conversation started about the dark reaches of the teenage brain. People on the internet are still talking about it years later.
Tyler Hadley.
Tyler Hadley.
Tyler Hadley.
A parade of mental health experts evaluated Tyler after the murders. But he was an enigma to them all, just as he had been to the numerous doctors and therapists that treated him throughout his childhood.
Not a single day goes by that I don't think about my parents or my whole family.
Hadley was convicted and sentenced.
It is hereby the judgment and sentence of the court that as to both counts 1 and 2, the defendant be sentenced to life.
13 years later, the question remains that his parents started asking when he was a small boy years before the murders. What's wrong with Tyler? The answer may lie in Florida, just north of the Gulf, where Tyler Hadley, now a 30-year-old man, says he's finally ready to talk for the first time about the crime and what he thinks drove his teenage brain to murder.
Tyler, we're here today because we're trying to understand the mindset and motivations behind your actions. The adolescent mind, if you will, is notoriously unpredictable, especially for boys.
So they say.
Right? Unpredictable, impulsive. At 30, what does your 30-year-old brain think about your adolescent brain? What's he thinking? What's he doing?
All he was trying to do was con and manipulate. There was really no need for any of that. Being an adolescent, okay, yeah, I understand you're immature and all that, okay, but it's just, I can't even explain it.
Still a mystery to you?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even sit here and begin to explain that.
There have been many accounts of your childhood, but none from you yourself. So tell me, how would you describe your childhood?
It was what any kid would ever imagine would be an ideal childhood.
Two loving parents who both had careers. You had one sibling, right? An older brother. Sounds like you guys were close.
Yeah.
You had grandparents nearby, aunts, uncles, cousins. You had a lot more love in your life than many people start out with. But it looks like you had mental health struggles.
Yeah.
And I'm just pulling all of this out of the case record and the public record. One doctor noted hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness. Is that how you felt?
I did feel that way, yeah. I feel like I wasn't really going anywhere, you know?
Were you having that dialogue, the internal dialogue that I'm worthless, I hate myself?
I think it was embedded in my mind ever since I was a little kid with that.
Of your own creation, like nobody put it on you.
No. And I don't even know where that came from. That started when I was like 3rd grade, 2nd grade.
Throughout your childhood, I counted 3 psychiatrists, all trying to figure out what's wrong with Tyler.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was normal to me.
Was it hard on you to go through diagnosis after diagnosis?
No, I just didn't know what to do when I sat in front of those psychiatrists and all that. I never had any effective treatment as far as that, me talking to them. Though that was on my part too. I didn't what do you say?
Engage.
Yeah, I didn't engage at all.
Depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, social phobia, disruptive disorder,
yeah.
Conduct disorder, bulimia, hypothyroidism, acne. I imagine for a young child, it could have been very confusing.
I didn't really think about it, because I never heard those terms. They never spoke those terms to me. From when I was 9, I didn't know what to do. And they just gave me medication.
Can you even remember all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I remember that. I remember all of them. Lexapro was the first psychotropic antidepressant I was ever on. Oh, and Adderall was the first one. Adderall. Those first 2 were the same simultaneously.
Right. You were on SSRIs.
Yep.
You were on thyroid replacement therapy, growth hormones, Zoloft, Celexa, Visatril. That's a lot.
Visatril, yeah.
That's a lot of drugs.
Celexa and Visatril were at the same time. Zoloft and Adderall, when I was 16 again, they put me on Adderall again.
Any of that help you in any way?
No.
Did it make things worse in some way?
I don't know if it made it worse, but it didn't.
It wasn't working.
When Tyler Hadley hit his late teen years, his parents had no clue just how dangerous he had become, or what the troubled 17-year-old would do next.
I see 7 references to statements you made to friends about killing your parents. If you kill my mom, I'll give you my Lincoln.
Yeah.
They thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke too until I just started thinking.
Okay, this is one of the last pictures that we have of Blake and Tyler together. Probably 4 days after this picture was taken, Blake and Mary Jo were gone.
Michael Hadley is Tyler Hadley's uncle and part of a close extended family blindsided when his 17-year-old nephew bludgeoned his brother and sister-in-law to death in 2011.
I miss those days. They were like a model family. Tyler was just, he was like his dad was when his dad was young. He was just a little clown, always goofing around. But as he grew older, he started to change a little bit. Once he got up to the age of high school, you know, it's like some of these kids, they start hanging around with the wrong crowd, and next thing you know, he's getting in a little bit of trouble.
As Tyler turned into a teenager, his mood darkened and his parents despaired.
In high school, socially, you gravitated to the proverbial wrong crowd.
I think that they gravitated towards me.
How so?
It's because everybody says I went to the wrong crowd, but I think I was the wrong crowd.
Oh, you were the wrong crowd. Your parents, he said, we caught him drinking, smoking, stealing, you were lying.
Yeah, I was doing all that.
Sneaking out. Yeah. Can't trust him, they said. Taking their debit cards, finding drug paraphernalia. He won't tell us anything, they said. He denies everything.
Yeah.
We don't know his friends. He's losing weight.
Yep. Well, the weight was from the Adderall.
He said we caught him throwing up, but he denies it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said something about wanting to die.
Yes. That's all true.
Clearly picked up on it, right? They were trying everything they could to get you help.
Yeah.
You couldn't talk to them?
I could have.
You could have, but young Tyler.
Yeah, he didn't.
Didn't?
No.
How would you describe your parents?
Saints.
Saints?
Yeah.
Really? Why do you say that?
Because they were. There ain't no other word for them.
Always there for you?
Yeah. Even when I was acting a fool, acting out, being an idiot. Yeah. At the time, I didn't appreciate it.
And no one appreciated just how deranged Tyler Hadley had become.
Just before he committed his attack, Blake gets a phone call from his boss. You're getting a raise, and you're no longer going to be on nights. You're going to have a standard shift of daytime only. And oh, he was so happy. You know what he told me? He says, Mike, now I get more time to spend with Ty-Ty. That's what he called Tyler. I get more time to spend with him. He was so excited about that. And Tyler, he loved his mother. Even as a teenager, he'd sit on her lap, you know, and laugh with her and cut up with her. It's just inconceivable to try to even understand what can go wrong, you know, with a human mind.
It sounded like things went from bad to worse and put a real strain on your relationship with your parents. They took you to 2 different mental health substance abuse programs in the spring before the murders. It sounds like things were out of control. Were you afraid that they were going to institutionalize you?
Oh, I knew they were.
You knew they were?
Yeah, it was in my mind. I think I wanted them to.
Huh. And yet you resisted it. Why wouldn't you want the help?
Because I wanted to keep on doing what I was doing.
Is it possible that your anger towards them for imposing, you know, help on you, treatment on you, that became the kind of target of your rage?
I think so.
The Hadleys would punish Tyler for his destructive behavior, frequently grounding him and taking away his phone. At one point, they proposed checking him into a mental hospital for inpatient treatment, while he lashed out with violent threats disguised as sick humor.
I see 7 references to statements you made to friends about killing your parents. They were brutal statements.
Yeah, it was. It just...
You would say things like, if you kill my mom, I'll give you my Lincoln.
Yeah. I said that on a Facebook chat.
She took your phone away once. You said, I might kill her.
That was a year before.
Who talks like that, even to your friends, even joking?
I mean, what kind of kid doesn't call their mom? I mean, with their friends, like, oh, my mom grounded me, you know, she's being a... I said she's being a... She took my phone. Or I mean, she's a... You know, I didn't...
Hadley says the idea to kill his parents started as dark banter with his friends, and then took root in his mind.
They thought